What's going on, guys? This is Josh
And James.
of the MMA Complex. It is Wednesday, October 17th. It is about 6:53 p.m. this Wednesday, lovely Wednesday night in Los Angeles. Big weekend of fights. Big weekend for the both of us. We were very busy over the weekend. I threw a big
Baby shower.
bash, and it wasn't a normal baby shower. We had a little over 100 people there, and it was
It was a madhouse, but
it was a madhouse. But it all
it was nice though.
yeah, it all went smooth. It was all good. It was fun. Still recovering from that. And all's good. All's good. Still
Yeah,
caught the fights over the weekend too, though.
Yeah, I think you're almost there, man. You're about 2 months away from me to
2 months away.
father.
Yeah, about 2 months away now. Yeah, for being a father, and who knows? He might even show up a little earlier. So I'm mentally prepared for the fact that he might even show up a lot sooner.
Yeah, so he embraced his last couple months.
I know. I need to get out.
You're
Go
gonna
out
be,
a little bit. No, I was like, I gotta calm down.
yeah, you're gonna be a father.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to even like
Fathom.
yeah, and just trying to see into the future and think of all the possibilities of how things might go when he gets older, and girls and bullies at school and grades, and if he tries to stay up late and I have to tell him to go to bed, that kind of shit. I think about all of it, and I'm like, it's just weird. It's just crazy to even think about.
Yeah,
Being responsible for another human being.
I think one advantage that you have is that you've been there, done that. So I don't think he'll be able to point it on you because
Yeah,
the signs of being
I've been there, done that, and
bad
I've been
teenage boy.
yeah, and I've been around. Yes, I've done my fair share, and even into my even into my
now.
even now I got to control myself. So,
There's no way
No.
he can.
no, and
Get
I've
away
seen
with
too
something like
much. I've been
You know
around
too
too
much.
much. I know too much. I know what people.
And you're very street smart, so
Yeah, yeah,
you know the signs.
Yeah, and I've been, even if I didn't partake in it, I've been around people that have partaken in
Yeah.
some
Some crazy
fucked
stuff.
up shit. So so yeah, I've seen it.
So it's
Been
good
around
that you're prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. And all facets of
Of life.
yeah. I think I could offer at least some type of advice. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it, especially early years, getting them into all the cool stuff like Star Wars and MMA, and I plan on putting them in some type of martial arts and just all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to it.
Behind the missus back.
Yeah, taking them to all the conventions. I already have the Comic-Con already planned out. That kind of stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to all that.
Crazy.
Over the weekend, a lot of fights. Big Bellator weekend. It was kind of unfortunate for them. It's still the aftermath of 229, so it didn't get a whole lot of buzz. But they had two big back-to-back events. Their quarterfinals for the heavyweight tournament on Friday with Matt Mitrione and Ryan Bader, and on Saturday with Fedor and Chael Sonnen. Those are the big events over the weekend. Do you happen to catch both of them, or at least the highlights? Or
Yeah, I've seen the important ones on both shows.
yeah. What'd you think of Friday night's show, or at least the Bader and Mitrione? Did you see it kind of going that way? Obviously, Bader used his wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it was a smart tactic by one Ryan Bader. I mean, everyone knows Mitrione's weakness, and that's his grappling, and that's which is Bader's strength. So I think he played it smart. Him coming in that fight, being the lighter heavyweight, I mean, it'd be dumb for him to go try to throw bombs with someone who's obviously bigger than him. So he fought smart. He did what he had to do, and he wrestled him to the ground, and he won a decision.
Yeah.
And he's going now to the finals against Fedor.
So I mean, I think we both kind of saw it going that way in terms of Ryan Bader making it at least to the finals. He was obviously a big light heavyweight, talented wrestler, a good striker.
I think experience too. He fought the best of the best in the UFC.
Yep, coming from a top 5 position in the UFC, and obviously I think being one of the younger competitors in the tournament. So pretty much everything is in his favor. and he's fighting a lot of old dogs. Even Mitrione, who has a youthful kind of presence to him, is 41. So
Yeah, with very little experience compared to Vader.
and not as experienced as a lot of the other competitors. I mean, he's more of like a striker and just a big athletic good dude who gets by on his athleticism. But yeah, I kind of saw it going that way. In the co-main event, you had Sergey Karatanov versus Roy Nelson. Another knockout loss for Roy Nelson. Karatanov knocking him out. I mean, it's kind of reaching the end of I think Roy Nelson's career in a lot of ways. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Roy Nelson, when he first was in the UFC, he was, he
Knocking
was
out
a
guys.
threat, but people know how to fight him now. I mean, he's fought the same way. He hasn't evolved at all, and I think he's at his tail end of his career. Unfortunately for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's tail end of his career. Now he's getting knocked out. Roy was always that guy that could take a shot, land a big shot. Now he's getting knocked out, and it's just one of those things where it's once that starts to happen, and you can't, your cardio takes a hit, your chin can't hold up. It's nearing the end for Roy Nelson.
Yeah.
Lorenz Larkin picked up a win. Corey Browning and Mandel Nalo picked up a win also on Friday. The ratings were decent. They were actually down from the previous events.
Got him?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And then let's see. You had Bellator 208 on Saturday. The big fight. I think everybody was looking forward to this one. Fedor and Chael Sonnen. This was supposed to be, I think we talked about it leading up to it. It was supposed to be like Bellator's big, tentpole event for the year. And, with the whole 229 fiasco, I don't know why they would even book it so close to the 229. And then people weren't talking about it. People were still talking about Kabib up until the fight day.
Like as far as booking, like they can't predict what the UFC is going to be booking.
Yeah.
But I think too is that I think they messed up. I think they should have just did the semifinals of one card.
Yeah.
One because by the end of the weekend, everyone, I mean, your finals sit anyway.
Yeah.
So why have it back to back nights? And two, I don't think their roster is strong enough to hold two different cards and two different nights. They should just had all their big players fight in one card and have both semifinals in one card instead of spacing them out. So I think that hurt him too. The fact that DAZN was, plays a part of it too. I think it's fairly new and people don't have access to that either as well, or the people don't really know how to.
I subscribed to DAZN over the weekend because I wanted to try it out. I liked the service actually. There was some downtime in between matches, like they would either go through promotions of their own scheduling, or it would kind of be just like shots of like the cage area and stuff like that. So it wasn't that bad. There was break time. At least there wasn't commercials. That's the best thing about it. Because even if you watch the Fox Sports app, there's still commercials in between. It might be the same ones, but they just replay them. But with the DAZN, there wasn't a whole lot of commercials, so I didn't mind it too much because you can get up, you can like take a break, you can go to the restroom, you can
I mean, you probably do the same thing with the commercials.
Yeah, but like even if you want to sit there, like it's not like you have to hear these advertisements going off. It's kind of like just a nice quiet little space in between,
right?
Which is not too bad. I didn't mind it too much.
But I do think that has that plays a factor in the world. In it too.
Oh yeah.
And then third, obviously the U29. I think if Kabib would have beat Conor, and nothing happened at the end, I think it wouldn't be as big news. But the fact that whole melee that happened that followed the main event had people talking.
That had people talking for the rest of the week. But the event was decent. You had Benson Henderson picking up a win. Ken Congo on a roll. Went over Timothy Johnson. 7 in a row for Czech Congo. Henry Corral is picking up a win. Benson Henderson finally picking up a win over a really credible opponent in Sadawad. Used more of his wrestling. A lot of people were saying that Benson was kind of cheating, grabbing the fence a lot, grabbing gloves a lot. But you know, the fight's over. It's pretty much it. And then Fedor Emelianenko against Chael Sonnen. I saw it going, I think, in Fedor's favor, but you really don't know, especially when they're at the stage in their careers. It's like you don't know that it's going to be like that, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what you felt on the fight.
Yeah, so with Fedor, it's always a hit and miss with that guy because he hasn't been consistent in his post Japan career.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean,
he looked
he obviously
ferocious.
he hits hard. He's always hit hard. He's a lot faster than I anticipated him to be that night. But yeah, I feel bad for Chael Sonnen, man. He always gets close to that title, but he can never gain it or win it.
Yeah, he chokes in the big fights, and I think he's talked about this before and talked about going to like a sports psychologist and all that and try to figure it out why. But I thought he would be a little bit more composed and be a little bit more calculated in his approach to the fight, and he really wasn't. He went in straight ahead at Fedor and got caught with like the first big punch, and was pretty much rocked and kept getting rocked throughout the first round, which only went one round. And it was disappointing to see that he fell again in a big fight, but it wasn't surprising because stylistically, I figured Fedor might catch him like that anyway. But I figured, and there were moments of it. Chael showed that his wrestling could, be a problem for Fedor, but he wasn't. It wasn't consistent throughout that fight. And
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's kind of crazy, seeing Fedor at the other side of the cage.
Yeah,
they're gonna fight this guy, but I mean, Chael has the experience fighting guys like Anderson Silva and so forth.
Yeah,
Vanderlei, but yeah, I mean, it just seems like when the fights mean something, he can never.
He never pull the trigger.
He can never embrace it or take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but he didn't look like the normal Chael. He didn't look confident. He didn't look like he was gonna go in there with a sense of purpose. He was like winging it, and it showed, and then he lost, and he got cracked so many times. And then even when he covered up and turtled up, it was like, I mean, you didn't. I don't know. I figured that most people would fight through it and want to win and battle through it, and I think he wanted out. I think he didn't see it going his way, and mentally, I think he caved and he wanted out. There was no reason for him to turtle up like that. Like, yeah, he got caught with some shots, but it wasn't like that bad leading up to him.
He could have pulled guard.
Stop it. Yeah, pull guard.
And held on.
Pull guard. Even let Fedor take your back. Or at least try to do some ground and pound, slip out the back, slip out the side.
Butterfly guard,
butterfly,
and then escape that way. But
yeah, nothing. He didn't do anything. He just turtled up, and the fight was over.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that was the most disappointing thing.
That's usually a sign of a fighter quitting.
Yeah, it wasn't even like Fedor winning that was disappointing. I didn't mind him winning. It was disappointing to see that Chael just pretty much threw away the fight. A lot of people not a lot of people, but I heard some talk about people saying that it was they questioned Scott Coker on maybe Twitter, or even just questioned him that like it was was it fixed because they wanted Fedor in the finals or something like that. But Scott kind of shot that down real quick.
Yeah, it's funny how like when you get those kind of crazy finishes in the UFC that's never brought up.
Mm-hmm.
It's only brought up in Bellator just because they have that whole pro wrestling kind of feel to their product. You don't really hear it much in the UFC. It's more in Bellator.
More in Bellator, but now you're hearing it a lot in UFC. They're so WWE, they're so WWE, which in a lot of ways they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, like the great Jim Cornette said. I think the best pro wrestling company or promotion is the UFC. But
it goes like what upsets me is when they start questioning the fights, the legitimacy of the fights. What's upset me. Yeah, the antics I get.
No, it is annoying, but playing devil's advocate, like you can't blame them for thinking that way. I mean, they're so pro wrestling outside the fights. Yeah, it'd be hard not to question the fight itself.
Fight, legit, yeah.
But yeah, they're the best pro wrestling promotion right now, I think.
Yeah. Over the weekend, obviously, there was also some big news. First, I want to go on DAZN real quick. I liked it. I think that played a factor in terms of the ratings being a little bit down because they simulcast on Paramount. I liked DAZN. Um, I think there's promise to the app, and also they just signed with Golden Boy, so they're gonna have Golden Boy events on there, and then the Canelo's first next event is gonna be on DAZN.
Mm.
So it's gonna be it's not a bad streaming service, and if you're looking to get it, it's like $9.99. Yeah, it's a little bit pricier than like maybe the ESPN app, but fight fans, I think it's something to it's something to consider, at least try out because it's very easy to use. And I think there's a lot of promise on there. They don't have that much content on there. I would love for us to be on there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be a dream. Even to just go on their MMA portion of their streaming service and have like MMA related content. That'd be awesome to be on something like that, like DAZN, because it's like coming up. It's like they're developing.
We should contact them.
Yeah, they have some people on there. I'm not. It's when they cover. They have these two guys on there. I don't want to throw shade, but they're a little bit older. When they cover MMA, they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get some people that know what they're talking about on that streaming
sure.
service. So if you guys are DAZN people, hopefully we can get on something like that going in the future. So it looks like everything's settled, kind of with Kabib and Dana White and the UFC. According to Dana, he was caught with TMZ out on the streets saying that him and Kabib have settled their differences, that he's going to come to an agreement. He's still kind of shy in terms of saying whether his teammates are going to get cut from the UFC. It looks like they most likely are, but
at least one of them.
At least one of them. And I thought that maybe one of them should be cut anyway. But there's no details in terms of how that's going to go down. And you got to take what Dana's word for a grain of salt in terms of if him and Khabib are even on good terms, because they might not even be on good terms. So I don't trust everything that Dana says right away. But as far as he's concerned, and if you look on the TMZ interview, he says it's all good now. So I don't know. I don't know what you make of that. You think it's really squashed?
I think there might be in talking terms. And I think that for the most part they are. I think if he does get fired, I don't think it'll be a complete ban. I think that eventually, if he does good elsewhere or shows Dana White that he's been a good citizen, I think Dana White will let him in.
Yeah.
I think Khabib will be happy if it comes to that.
Yeah.
I think Khabib was concerned that he'll be banned for life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dana White's not closing the door completely. And if that's the case, I think Khabib is happy that he is being sent for a little while, and he has an open door for him to return.
I think that's something that that Dana would probably throw out there, be like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something.
Yeah,
but I'm not
to please Khabib.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, that's a good point. Like that's probably a possibility of what they came up with. Like, yeah, we're not gonna cut him. He's not banned for forever, but we are letting him go, and he can work his way back.
Yeah, it's a good compromise.
Yeah, it's a good compromise, and at least for that one guy that hopped the fence and tried to sucker punch him, you got to cut that guy.
So I think Dana White made some kind of compromise to make both Khabib happy and to do what's right for business.
Yeah. What do you make of with all the stuff going on with Floyd? Do you think it's a real possibility? Both on both sides or on social media, at least in interviews, saying they're down for it.
I mean, I can't say
nothing's set.
I can't say that it's impossible because we saw what happened with Conor.
Yeah.
And when you have Floyd interested in something, things can happen.
Yeah.
I think the biggest obstacle is Dana White going to allow it. I think Dana White, from what he said, it's a one and done.
Yeah.
When it happened with Conor, who knows? I think anytime the UFC has an opportunity to make big money, I think they're going to do it. So I don't rule it out completely. I think it is a possibility. I just think it's more absurd than the Conor situation, because I think with Conor, he's obviously a elite striker compared to Khabib. So yeah. he had that knockout power, and he created curiosity with Khabib. He obviously can't wrestle in the boxing ring, so I just think he's gonna get beat even worse than what Conor did. I think Conor, he had that curiosity on his side. I think with Khabib, he just has nothing on his side.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it'd be fun to see. I don't think it's really going to go down. Um, but if Mayweather really wants it, there's a possibility. I can't rule anything out, especially if Mayweather's involved. But yeah, I agree. Connor at least had that curiosity of maybe he can do it. Maybe he could pull it off because he is an elite striker, at least in MMA. And you think that maybe that those talents can be translated over, and he might be able to do something. Khabib doesn't have that same kind of skill set,
Yeah.
so he would be in even more out of water than even Connor was, and that's a lot. So I would still pay to see it, and I think it would be pretty big. Mayweather saying it's going to be bigger than the Connor one.
Nah.
I don't think so because Connor was a master promoter, and the both of them was just like
He
huge.
doesn't even say anything. He's just a standard press conference, standard stare. He won't promote the fight.
No, he won't promote the fight. It's going to be boring. It's going to be all Mayweather on that side, and we'll see how that goes. But
Plus the language, it's in language barrier too. I think
Yes.
it'll be hard to do a world tour with Khabib.
yeah. Now, in terms of Khabib, he's saying, and his management is saying that they're not wanting to give Connor the rematch. At least Khabib Ali Abdelaziz, his manager.
I can't stand Ali now.
Yeah, so he's coming out saying that he's not going to give prostitute Connor the rematch, and it's not skill. It's not competitive in terms of the reasons for not wanting to give him a title shot. It's more of just a personal. We hold the cards now.
It's pretty much vendetta.
Yeah, we hold the cards now. We're not giving you what you want. Which I feel is kind of fucked up because we've seen Connor come back and rematches better than the first. So I think there is some intrigue in whether he can actually pull it off. And I think given some consistency in the sport, that's a possibility. But as far as right now, that matchup's dead in the water, and it looks like they will kind of want Tony Ferguson to be the first. But if you're looking at merit, yeah, it makes sense with Tony. But
If you look at it as a sport, like a competitive way, I think, or reasons why Habib won't give him a rematch, I kind of agree on that side because it was a pretty one-sided fight. I think it'd be fair for Conor to at least fight one time before getting to Khabib. Now, to Conor's credit, I think what Ali is doing is complete. It's out of hatred and vendetta. I think he's not being a professional at all. I think he's being like a little kid in the playground who wants to just throw a tantrum just because Conor told him what's up.
Yeah,
what Conor said was fact, and I think Ali didn't like that.
Yeah.
But for Ali to be a manager and saying stuff like prostitute or just saying like slurs, it's really unprofessional and makes him look bad.
Yeah.
I just don't care for the guy anymore at all. Especially now all these comments that he's saying is like, come on, just like you're a manager to a lot of fighters, be professional about it.
Yeah.
There's no need to be calling. Like you can dislike Conor you want, but when you have cameras in front of you and you're a public figure, you act like one.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see the rematch. I think it would be bigger than the first. I think people will be, especially if you get strike while the iron's hot. You put it
like it'll happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. And if you put it like I was thinking in my head, if you put it on the same card as the Cormier and Brock Lesnar,
oh God,
you know how big
that'd
that
be
fight
insane.
would be.
That would be $3 million.
Yeah, if you put
Easy.
if you put main event and co-main event, that'll be.
I think Brock and DC would have to be the headliner.
Yeah,
or maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
That Conor fight would be so huge.
Conor, I don't think DC would even mind if he wasn't the main event.
Yeah,
like you put those two on the
main
you're
event,
right.
Co-main event. There's no way Brock and DC can follow that.
No, and timeline wise, if they do it in March, it's a possibility. They could make it happen.
Well, it all depends on how the commission and on the suspension.
I know that's true.
Out, so
that's
gotta
true.
find out with that.
Yeah, but that was just in my head. A fantasy matchup, fantasy card. Also, big news. Eddie Alvarez signs a ONE FC multi-fight, big payday contract. What do you make of this? A top 5 lightweight heading out. Good move.
I think it's a great move. I think Eddie Alvarez cemented his legacy as one of the best lightweights who ever fought in MMA. I think he went to the World Series of Fighting and won a bout from them. I think he went to Bellator and won a bout from them, and he went to the biggest promotion in MMA, and that's the UFC, and he won a bout from them. I think he's maybe not in his tail end of career, but he's getting close to it. And why not make money?
Yeah.
You know, and he's not. You know, Ben Askren is one where, you know, I think people wanted to see him fight the best, but he didn't. I think what he did when his time was won was kind of, you know, kind
Yeah.
of not shady, but people kind of looked at it like why don't you go to the UFC? With Eddie Alvarez, he's did everything he can in his career. I think he should end it making a lot of money.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's a good move. Not that he can't compete with the top five anymore. He still could. Um, but was he in World Series?
I believe so.
I don't know if he
No.
because he went. I think he went from Bellator, had the legal stuff, and then went straight to the UFC.
Hmm. You may be right.
I think so. I know he was definitely the Dream champion, which I love. Dream, the Japanese MMA.
Yeah.
The Dream was like a great uh, follow up to Pride. I thought it was a great promotion. Their posters, their presentation, it was all Pride. It was Pride reborn. Talent was great. Musasi, Jacare, stuff like that. They were on their roster. Eddie Alvarez was on the roster. Dream was awesome, but he was a champ over there. Bellator champ, UFC champ. And now I think he's gonna go to one championship, and there's a good chance he could get a title over there, finish out his career, make some good payday. They do well in their promoting of their fighters overseas. He's not gonna fight for small crowds. They're gonna be big crowds, mostly Asian country crowds, Malaysia, Singapore, stuff like that. So I think he's gonna do pretty well. You got some big names over there already, and I think he's gonna have some good time, fight some good competition, make some money, finish out his career, get another title, right off into the sunset. I think it's the best move for him. On top of paydays, he's got sponsorship paydays, and they over in Asia they have a one FC and one championship. They have blue chip sponsors. They have Disney and all these other. They're like over in those countries. They can they I think they're more comfortable with who they attach their name to, and big companies, and they one championship is like the UFC of Asia, and I think I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move.
And it's blowing up too. So
Yeah, and he's fought the who's who in the UFC
yeah,
anyway.
it doesn't improve.
Yeah, and he's not necessarily improving, but he's not necessarily on decline either. He's fought the who's who.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah, he's been there, done that, and I think it's the best time
smart,
for him to do it. So he's always been pretty good in his career decisions. So I'm happy for that. The fight card and everything has been announced for the Chuck and Tito. What 3, 4? What is it? 3? November, I think 3rd at the Forum. Fight card was announced. They got some decent names on there like Gleason Chabao and an undercard, prelim card, amateur card on the fight card. Pay-per-view is going to cost I think $50 for HD, I think. If I'm not mistaken. What do you make of this event? The pricing for it's like old school pricing for their pay-per-view. What do you think?
I think it's horrible. I think $20 more and it's like paying for a UFC pay-per-view. Man.
Yeah.
I think something like that should be like in the $15 range. Yeah. Just because who's fighting in the main event, a fight that both guys are past their prime. Both guys have fought twice in their career, and both fights were pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
I just think it's a bad move by De La Hoya. I think it shows his inexperience in mixed martial arts and kind of I now feeling now what the fans want to think. I think he's bringing a boxing price tag to a fight that I can completely say that
nobody really asked for.
People, like care about or want to see. I don't know. I don't see him getting past 20,000 buys.
I don't think so either. I don't think they're gonna do it. Maybe 100 maybe 100. I'd say lowest maybe around 100 pay-per-view buys. I think a lot of it's gonna be illegally streamed.
I think even $100,000 is kind of high.
Yeah,
just because of
buys.
Just because of the price tag and who's fighting in the main event.
It's true. There's really nothing there. It's a top heavy, like at the very top heavy card. There's like you go down the list. There's no co-main event that's really stands out. They just announced the card, and it's like maybe 2 weeks out.
And
So
I mean, if $50 is a price tag, it kind of gives you an indication of the price tag for a seat.
is
What that would cost you.
if Golden Boy continues to go into the MMA business, you think it's at least a decent opening event?
I thought they could have done better. I
They
think
could have done better.
there's a lot of free agents out there with better value and not so over the past their prime.
Yeah,
I think put that fight maybe as a co-main event or the main card at least,
yeah,
and get two big draws. But
yeah.
I think it's hard to sell a fight like that. And then I mean, it should have been $14.99 tops.
I'm curious to see. Yeah, I'm curious to see how the pay per view number is going to be. I don't think it's going to crack 100,000. And I am curious to see what the gate's going to be and the attendance is going to be. Not that many people are talking about it. Casual fans though, who know these two guys, I think will be interested. I think they may or may not sell out the forum.
That and it's scheduled for November. We're already in mid-October. That's coming up pretty fast.
Yeah, and not that many people are like talking about it just yet, but I do have some casual fans that have approached me saying that like it's something that they're even slightly interested in. Whether they want to attend, maybe, but I don't know how interested they would actually be in terms of buying a pay per view.
I think the casual fans that are around me, I think wouldn't pay that price tag. I think
No, I don't think they would either.
Are gonna try to find it in some stream.
At most, I think they would be curious to attend the event. Maybe because it's a historic event with those two fighters. I think that is intriguing to be like, oh, especially if you're near an area. But in terms of buying the pay per view, no one's gonna buy it.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that's the show right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, another episode in the books. We'll catch you guys next week. Brand new episode. Go to MMAComplex.com. Check out the shirts. They're up right now.
Yeah, at a new lower price. So check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to the show on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and help the show get noticed. You can follow us on social media. You can follow me on Twitter. MMA Complex James. MMA Complex Josh for him. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty quiet weekend.
Yeah.
In MMA, but
you got Cage Warriors. You got LFA.
Yeah, some small shows, but
that's about it.
Pretty quiet. But Josh and I already have pretty interesting lives. Well, not really, but
not really.
We'll tell you guys what happens in the week to come of
Yeah.
our lives. So
yeah.
Until then, enjoy the fights and enjoy your week.